Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing okay. This is not the official talking segment of this episode because I only uploaded the last episode like 3 days ago. I don't feel like I have enough to say just yet, but I thought I would make another episode this week as a sort of Christmassy episode, I suppose. I like to collect those moments for myself anyway, so it kind of just makes sense to pull it together for you guys too. I might upload this, I guess, sort of like not after a week, but probably like 8 or 9 days. That way I can include Christmas at the end, and that'll be nice. Today I'm just updating my Filofax with the pages from last week. I'm actually a page short because my printer ran out of cyan ink. It always runs out of cyan. I literally have like 30 spares of all the other colours, but cyan, I'm fighting for my life against cyan. It just is a never-ending source of frustration. My printer will be 10 years old in 2025, and I recently did some research into buying a new one, was so overwhelmed. Instead, I took it to a print repair shop. I found a guy locally who repairs printers and cleans them up, and he fixed my printer. So that's fantastic. But he did say that it's super old, and even though it works, it's not really worth keeping. Apart from the fact that it works, he was saying that it guzzles ink. He couldn't believe how much ink it absorbed so fast, which is true. But the fact that it's so old means the ink is really inexpensive, and also the printer itself only cost me like £30 back in 2015. And I'm probably a bit too attached at this point. That being said, I'm one page short from updating my Filofax the way that I wanted, but I'll do it anyway. I just need to punch these. This was the last of my media tracking. Oh no, that's the page I'm missing. I can't even show you. Anyway, these are the pages from last week all filled out. Today, kind of what I want to do actually is take the contents of this folder and also September's October's folder and put the pages in my A5 Aura Restelle cover that I mentioned last week. For those who didn't see it, this was a gift. I'm super excited about it. I said I'd probably wait until like April or something to use it for when like I hit my normal yearly crisis. But ever since I filmed it the other day, I can't stop thinking about it. And you know, I would rather be distracted by my A5 pages than distracted by anything else. So I might try and put it in here today. The rings are so big. I kind of just want to see. I'm not going to talk while I do it. I'm just going to speed it up so you can watch me do it. Otherwise, we'll be here for 9 years. And I will come back and talk to you probably towards the end of the video. Hopefully I can find some nice vibes because I'm still not feeling super good, to be honest with you. Just think everything has been a lot recently. But there we go. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that feels super satisfying. Look how many pages. It's almost 4 months. I'm almost 4 months consistent again, which is cool. This year honestly hasn't been too bad. It was definitely an improvement from last year, which is always what I aim for. Next year I'll hope to be slightly more consistent again. I did January or December really, it was like mid-December through April in Filofax Personal, and then I had a bit of a mess in that scheduled annual bit. And then I was pretty consistent then, like August through, would it be August, September through December, so it's not too bad. I had 8 months consistent, 4 months in the middle that was a bit messy. One of those months was my traveler's notebook experiment, which was cool, so I would count that as being okay because I did a full month in one booklet, and the result was interesting. So then we maybe have, I don't know, 3 months of mess, which I wouldn't consider like keeping, but otherwise it's not been too bad. This is kind of cool. It looks kind of cool. Let's close it and see. There we go. Wow. You can see here where my printer was breaking and it was leaving these marks all across the tops of my pages. And then this is where I got the printer repaired. So that's kind of a neat feature. You know, it's not tons and tons of pages. I see people on Instagram and they just seem to always be carrying around like a Bible worth of pages, which is impressive. It's nice to be able to have the smaller folders, to be honest with you, but it's nice also to have at least one big cool option, just for when you don't want to be carrying around everything. Maybe I'll leave it in there for a couple of days and see how I feel. I mean, I can't carry this with me though. Like, this can't go in my bag. That's the point of the smaller folders, but it's nice to think that at the end of the year or something I could maybe, or well, we're at the end of the year, but I don't know, that at some point potentially I could choose to archive in a binder this big. Or just every now and then I could put all my pages in and see how I feel. And that's honestly kind of cool. I was thinking about maybe doing a flip through the books I liked this year. So looking through my personal planner pages, and then looking through maybe that traveler's notebook I got printed, and then also these Filofax ones, I guess. I suppose you've seen a lot of these recently, but let me know if you want to see it. I don't really want to cover my mess in the middle because it just makes me kind of sad. Even though it always takes me one step closer to finding what I think I need, sometimes it just feels so messy, a little embarrassing. But these are cool. I'm really happy with these. Wow, a nice feeling actually. I think it's nice that people enjoy planner hopping, but I don't know that I ever did. I think you should be able to move around and find things that work for you, but long term for me it just felt very difficult to keep moving around. I can't say that I enjoy it, even if sometimes my hyper focus tells me that it's what has to be done. I just find it quite stressful. My goal has always been to have everything in one place eventually and to have a long-term archive. So I really hope that I found it here. I will say that every time the last few weeks I think about other books or I see a post that makes me think, wow, that looks so cool, I would love to try that, I kind of think about it for a couple of hours or maybe a day, and then like by the time the evening rolls around, and the evening is when I would normally work on my pages, I just pick up my iPad and I start working on them. And I don't think I actually want to move and try anything. Normally December again for me would be like kind of an experiment time, but at the moment I just keep thinking like, actually I would rather just keep working on these pages. Like, they're working so well. Like, they are working with a capital W, I suppose, and like a full stop at the end. Like, it's just functioning. And to see the information all collected up and stuff, and to know that A5 gives my thoughts enough room to breathe, that I can collect a lot of photos in one space, is cool. So I said I wouldn't ramble in this bit, but there we go. I put all my pages in my Aura Estelle cover in case anyone wanted to see. I did. And it turned out pretty cool. So nice.
It's not about them.
Okay, it's Christmas Eve today, and I don't know how much I'll film for the next couple of days. Obviously a little bit to document it for myself, but I never want it to be so much that it's a distraction. I printed my most recent set of pages, apart from this one, which I keep forgetting to print since my ink came. So this is last week. I have some photos from when I was in Bath. And I thought I would kind of show you the pages and talk you through what I did. I know I showed you the footage, but sometimes when I'm out it's hard to know how much footage is the right amount of footage, and then you always have the issue of there being a lot of people around at Christmas time and I don't always want to film them. It feels, you know, not great to be catching a lot of random people in my footage, which can make it hard to, I guess, set the atmosphere or set the scene. So last week, obviously my daily pages or my weekly spread filled out, and then my media tracking, we watched The Muppet Christmas Carol. I actually had never seen it before, really enjoyed it. It's a silly, goofy time. I liked it a lot, to be honest. The first half of the week was mostly reading. It was a quiet start to the week, I think. And then here I was just kind of thinking again about why I maybe don't feel so festive. I think we're well on the way to remedying that at this point, but basically because I knew we'd be doing stuff at the weekend, at the beginning of the week, or actually it says Friday, so on Friday, I was thinking about what kind of things I associate with Christmas and what might help it feel a bit more festive-y. And I think it was successful. It's kind of helpful to do that sometimes, I think, just to kind of give yourself a little mood board. So on Saturday I met Luke in Bath because he was going to travel up to Reading for Christmas. We went halves on a fancy lunch because he wasn't feeling festive either. He also just got a new apartment, so I guess we were celebrating that a little bit maybe. Mostly I think we just wanted an excuse to sit together and talk for a long time and try and feel festive. I think the food was okay, but we're vegetarian, so then it's kind of like sometimes the vegetarian options are always like just okay. The desserts were fantastic. There were festive cocktails which were great, they were really good, but the vegetarian options were like just alright. I think Luke had a cheese souffle and he'd never had that before and he thought that was pretty cool. I had butternut squash soup that was good, but then the only vegetarian main on the festive menu was like mushroom pasta, which is great, we eat that a lot anyway. But that's not particularly festive. Anyway, I kept all the ephemera, which of course, they gave you crackers for the table. It was worth it, I think, for the atmosphere. It was a nice atmosphere. And they gave you crackers to pull on the table. So I have the little ribbon from the cracker, and then I have part of the like barrel of the cracker, I guess, or glue. And then on the back I have the tickets from the Abbey, and I have the jokes from the crackers. So that's, you know, nice. That same day we went to the Abbey, obviously you saw that, and there's a star installation in there for Advent at the moment. Really beautiful. Again, really hard to film and photograph with so many people milling about. But I like this one photo or shot I got of it from like up. So that's nice. We lit some candles. This is the first year actually that we haven't gone to Christmas mass. Neither my brother nor I are particularly religious, but we did grow up Christian, and we've both been confirmed and stuff. We take communion. But this is the first year, obviously, since all my family moved away, so we won't be going to the same church we went to my whole childhood. I was feeling kind of weird about that, not gonna lie. I think it's just the lack of routine of it. I don't think I realised how strong the Christmas routine is. So we lit some candles while in the Abbey because that always makes me feel, you know, better. It's just a routine, I think, that I appreciate. Lighting candles with intention is a nice feeling. So we did that in the Abbey and that was lovely. Did make me feel a little better about the loss of so many routines. And then that's all I have to show so far, because that was the end of last week. And then yesterday, Monday, Luke and I went into London to do our like yearly walk of London. We accidentally did 13 miles. Did not realize that at the time. He looked at the data on his like phone or watch afterwards, and yeah, 13 miles. We walked from Southbank all the way down to, where did we come off? Like Southwark by Tower Bridge. And then we decided we wanted to go to Covent Garden, so then we had to loop back up the other side of the river, which I don't think I've ever actually done before. Don't normally walk that side because I love Southbank so much. But we looped all the way back up the other side of the river through Trafalgar Square and Embankment to Covent Garden. And then from Covent Garden, we walked like the length of Soho all the way up through Carnaby. And then we ended up having to loop back to Covent Garden again because we realised that we hadn't eaten dinner and there was nowhere to get dinner. So that was an ordeal. It took a very long time, and then afterwards when we finished eating we didn't want to get the train from Covent Garden. The train station in Covent Garden sucks. It's always so busy. They had closed half the doors of the gates to the station because it was so rammed and they were trying to crowd control. So we came out from eating and we saw that and we just noped. So then we walked back from Covent Garden back to Embankment and over the Millennium Bridge to go back via Waterloo. So we did like this insane loop, did not even take one tube train, did not even get to sit on the Bakerloo line. We just walked 13 miles instead. But it was lovely. Luke and I were saying that since our grandparents moved especially, we no longer really have a home in London, but Southbank always feels like home to us. And actually, you might have seen it, I'll put a picture on screen. There's a new installation in Southbank this year that says "You belong here," and we were kind of a bit like clutching our chest over it. Or I was anyway. I was like, damn, you didn't have to come for me like that. So that's what's been happening the last couple of days. That's been the cute stuff. Today I think we're gonna eat like party food for Christmas Eve. That's generally what we do. I think a lot of British people do that for Christmas Eve. I think we're going to play board games. We love a good board game. We found out my dad has never played Uno, so we're going to play Uno, definitely. And we'll probably watch a couple of films, maybe. I am going to put together a little stocking for Wednesday. We don't do stockings, we just do gifts in our house, but for Wednesday. For fun. The elephant toy that you saw me wrapping up is actually for her. I thought it would be really fun to give her something big covered in paper that she could like pull apart in the morning. So we'll see how that goes. Not sure if she'll manage it. She's still a fiend for the advent calendar. I need to give her this morning's one. She's absolutely she's obsessed. I don't know what she's going to do when the routine is no longer there. But that's everything going on. Thought I would just come and check in with you all about it. If you can hear my dad coughing, apologies. The whole house is kind of on the brink of coming down with a cold. I imagine walking 13 miles in the cold wind of London does not help, but there we go. That's how it's coming together. It's not looking too bad. I'm not feeling too awful. December, you know, started a little weird, but I think it's pulled together okay. It's been alright, which just goes to show that sometimes if you're feeling a bit blue, you just have to make something for yourself. You just have to find something to do and allow yourself, I guess, the opportunity to feel better about it, which I forget the best of days. So I don't know how much more talking I'll do in this video. This might be it. If it is, wishing everyone who's celebrating a Merry Christmas or a general happy holidays. Anyone who's not, I hope you're enjoying your time off if you have it. And if you don't, I hope you're enjoying the peace and quiet. just generally wishing everyone a good end of the month, I suppose. And hopefully I'll be back sometime soon in the new year, but there we go. A little more footage to come, hopefully, but that's kind of my little roundup. Right here on the floor.